Good afternoon, everybody. Forehead and I. So, I was on my way back from taking a participant to go and pay his bills and make sure everything was up to date with him. And as I'm walking back to the facility that he resides at, ahead of me, maybe 2 blocks ahead of me, was a young kid. He had to be like, I think he said he was 12 or 13. Can't remember what age he said he was, but I'm gonna go with 12. So it's a 12-year-old boy. So as I'm walking towards him, he's got stopped by the police, right? Mind you, he's 12. He got stopped by the police because he was riding his bike on the sidewalk. Long story short, it's myself and my participant and two other ladies that are walking ahead of me. Now, the other ladies already get there and they actually stop. So they're going back and forth with the police officer, but I can't really hear because I'm like a distance away. So as I approach and move up, I said something too. I'm like, so what's the problem? So the first thing he asked me, he was like, what are you, his relative? I said, no, I'm not his relative. However, he's a 12-year-old boy and I do not see his parent around. I didn't say 12, I said he's a young kid and I don't see his parent around and you're talking to him or your gestures from afar look like you were being very abrasive. So what is the problem? So then that's when one of the other ladies pulled out their camera. Boom. So I started asking him, I'm like, well, what's your badge number? Because he kept talking to the kid because he was riding his bike on the sidewalk. So he was trying to chastise him about riding his bike on the sidewalk and giving him a ticket. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, as we're having a conversation with one another, now we're not even having a conversation. This is a full-out argument at this point. So as we're arguing with the police officers, this white guy rolls past right on his bike. And he doesn't say so. I said, you're not going to say anything to him? I mean, you stopping a 12-year-old, but you're not going to stop him? He's like, oh, well, I'm dealing with this right now. I say that to say this. Like, you see stuff on the news and you see people like put stuff on Instagram live or Facebook live and you see all this stuff and you never, like for me, I never experienced that like I really felt some type of way, like as if that was my kid. Like I felt some type of way. It is a shame. And people, I don't like to get into racism and politics and all that other stuff, but it's happening. Forget it. My whole thing is this, right? We are the most abused people in the world. Think about this. Just think about this for a second. They had to get in what amendment was it? 13th? No, the 14th. The 14th Amendment was to make like us citizens. Do you know that black people were considered property? Do you know your great grandmother was considered somebody's property? Let that resonate. And other cultures, and not other cultures, other races don't understand. You don't understand. There was no amendment to make you a citizen. And even after that, you still had Jim Crow, you had civil rights, you had all this stuff through history. We still live with the residual effects of slavery and undermine. Now, racism just comes a little different. Now they're getting Mac Bo with it because history always repeats itself. That is crazy. The 14th Amendment was when? U.S. history. 1788, 1789. We're in 2019. That's 230 years. And that seems like a lot, but it's not. That shows if everybody's grandmother lived to 100, you know how many generations that is? That's serious. Like that's great. That's like your great grandmother. Like, are you serious? Like your great grandmother was property. I just say that to say this because it is a shame that as a black person, and some of you out there as black parents have to teach your kids how to deal with the police, how to deal with an institution that was put in place to protect us. That is outrageous. Like I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 years old. You need to have these conversations with these kids so they understand. And it's so sad that you have to do that. No other race has to do that. So for other races on this Facebook looking at, understand this, understand what's going on. And you know what a lot of people have? I just discovered this today. Well, I'll be watching TED Talks and all that type of stuff. So this guy was saying that a lot of black people have urban PTSD. If you don't know what PTSD is, post-traumatic stress disorder, right? So a lot of us have urban PTSD. You got to look that up. That's a new term. I think, well, for me, it's a new term. I ain't never heard of it. But I say that to say this, like, we live in a real world with real problems and real issues. And to see that really bothered me. So at this point, it's like, yeah, we can march and go to City Hall, do picket fences, but City Hall don't make rules. You know what I'm saying? I really feel really strongly about this. Like, I really do. It disturbed me that he stopped this kid and was like really in his face. Like, and if we weren't there, what would have happened? And look at all the other cases. I'll give you another one. I think this is recent. They had a thing in Alabama where cops, the police, was planting stuff on African American men, like drugs, guns, all that. I mean, that's been going on for years, but to know that this been going on for years, generations of police people, generations of cops have been doing this. Like, that really bothered me. It bothered me. And as black people, we got to take this serious, man. You got to take this serious. Teach your kids Whoever teach anybody, let them know how to deal with the police. And for other races, like I said, imagine that. You think you going through it. We still deal with racism. And my name could be Shaquita Jenkins. And I go apply for a job and can have a master's and won't get it. But Barbara Bailey, I don't even know where I got that name from. Barbara Bailey would get the job and doesn't even have the same credentials. Come on, man. Come on. I'm not saying we should march and picket, but something got to give, man. That disturbed me. To see that young kid out there like that, he was just going to the store for his mother. And he got to get stopped by the cops for what? For riding his bike on a sidewalk? And then Joe Schmo, could just go and just do whatever they want. I'm getting emotional. Let me stop. Teach your kids. If you have young black boys and black girls, you have to teach them how to interact with the police. And that's sad that you even have to say that. That you have to teach your kids how to interact with a system that was put in place to protect them. Word. Like, you have kids, man, make sure they extra try. You got to get out. But anywhere you go, it's going to be like that. You know, a lot of people don't experience as much as others. But you have to let them know that, yeah, man, that's a real conversation that you have to have with your kids. So don't think you don't have to have it because, oh, no, not my Sam. No, yeah, your Sam too, everybody. If you got melanin in your system, you need to talk to your children because they will be harassed. That was crazy. That little boy wasn't expecting that. He didn't even know how to deal with it. He was so happy that he seen somebody of color, his same color, walking past to say something. Because I was going to say, I'm not that type of person. I get too emotional and passionate. I got to say something. You can't just let people get away with things. I need to stop saying it like that. Sometimes, you got to pick and choose your battle. But that battle, yeah, that definitely was worth it. And I got his badge number. Not that really makes a difference. I can go on and on. But I'll just say this, please educate your children and make them understand why they need to go to school. They need to read and write. They need to do this. Even if school ain't for them, nobody's saying you got to go to college. You just, whatever it is you want to do, educate them. Educate them, man. Educate them. Educate them. So on paper, they look fire because that's how you fight these days. Yeah, we could go to war and do all of that, but that ain't going to do nothing but get you arrested and beat up in jail anyway. Woo, Lord. Ooh, I'm hot. But I feel better I got this out. Thanks for listening to my rant, guys. 4 headed 9.